Right. So, good afternoon. If you're looking at me and it looks like I'm broadcasting from inside a parlor, it's because we are continuing our hamper relief efforts. They packed the hampers in what used to be my studio, but now it's the parlor. So that's those of you who want to donate to the PEP flood relief. We want non-perishable items, cleaning supplies. If you want, you could bring it to 14 to 17 Park Street, Victoria Square, or you could call Indira at 499-8382, 702-7445. That's the correct numbers?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, you could go to Indira, let her give that information.
He was correct.
I have David Welch with me in studio. David, give him a nod. Right. So, and the reason is because we're dealing with a breaking story. And the breaking story that we're dealing with is the firing and unfiring of Fitzgerald Hines and the soon-to-be firing of Simon the Nobrega. I'll explain to you what's going on here. But I want to be able to share this link to this video to all the people who follow me. So, David, do we have any ads to run?
Yes, we do.
If you could give them the ads now and get that out of the way so we could start this. Don't go anywhere. Share this video with everyone. We have plenty of information, including why did Simon the Nobrega refer to Norman Sabga as a political operative? When we come back, we're dealing with that. This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
Darren's Air Conditioning Services. Professional services at affordable prices. They have air conditioning units starting at $2,700 with free delivery, installation, and Wi-Fi ready. We supply Pioneer, Lennox, Comfy, and Infinity, all at unbeatable prices. Servicing of a 12,000 BTU at only $150. Don't forget to check them out on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So contact Darren's Air Conditioning Services at 749-8245. Darren's Air Conditioning Services. Professional services at affordable prices.
Loving, safe, caring senior care living facility where your family becomes our family. Our experienced caregivers are trained and overseen by our registered nurse who has years of experience in psychiatric nursing and working with geriatrics. We provide a safe living environment for your loved ones. Come and visit us. We are located at 4 Roads in Diego Martin, Arichel Homes. We are family. View us on Facebook, Arichel Homes. Contact us at 684-2873 or 468-3186.
This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, No accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
Right. We're back. This started today. What started the whole thing? Now, I want to remind you all, there was a time when a Guardian article left the Guardian newsroom referring to the then Attorney General Anand Ramlogan as Ramgoat. And today's Guardian that started the whole thing today. So these are the questions we're going to ask, right? But if David could bring up on screen the first Guardian shot I gave him. And I want you to see something. So that's why I'm talking about Ramlogan and Ramgoat.
Just now.
When journalists are doing a story that is in progress and they're writing where there's information missing, they use symbols and signs. Some use dollar signs. Whoever was working on this article used the @ sign, and he knew that information, not that one, the one that was the actual Guardian headline, is a picture I sent you, a screenshot. When you look at it, you will see made the announcement via @ The reason that is there is because the information was still forthcoming. That means this was a live story. Now, when I saw it, I spoke to Gary Griffith, because Gary Griffith mentioned yesterday in his public meeting that he heard that the cabinet is falling apart and that people were supposed to be fired today. So I called Gary and he and I spoke about this, but Gary is telling me that because it is he didn't think that this was a real story. What I explained to Gary is this is a holding pattern in journalistic language. When you know that you're waiting on information, you put different symbols. This here is they were waiting on the information for that. So I suspected that what was released here was a story that was it was still in train. The PNM was firing Fitzgerald Hines today. Because when they come back to me, David, when this article was released, this here, it went viral that Fitzgerald Hines, including me, I responded to this and said Hines was fired. Hines was fired today. The same way I could tell you that Faris Al-Rawi, when he was fired as Attorney General, he was fired out of the PNM. He was fired out of the government. His mother went and they did some last minute deal. And if you remember that day, Faris Al-Rawi was supposed to have a press conference after the Prime Minister's press conference. If you were following it, you'll remember. And then they canceled that press conference when they made him local government minister and sent him out to climb trees and pretend that this is what he wanted to do with his whole life. But this article here, this Guardian article, was a real article. So it means that either A, the Prime Minister's office was giving the Guardian a heads up to run a story on the release so that the information would be disseminated widely, or somebody in the cabinet, in the loop, in the know, leaked it and was leaking it. Because when Simon de Nobrega put out as his version of handling it, and I want to show you how you could follow how these people have made a mess. Simon de Nobrega uncharacteristically responded immediately. Now this is what told me that something was going on here. Because Simon de Nobrega doesn't move that fast. And Simon de Nobrega doesn't use big words like operatives. So I felt like somebody was trying to put the genie back in the bottle. But this is what Simon de Nobrega said. Now I'm going to show you how they tripped over themselves to make a mess today. Communication Minister Simon de Nobrega is shutting down rumors that National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines has been fired. De Nobrega was speaking in response to a post entitled "Hines Fired as National Security Minister." That's my post. That was shared online by Guardian Media newspaper. He said, any decision of that magnitude, that's a big word for Simon de Nobrega. He doesn't know how to spell magnitude. That is as important as that would come from the office of the Prime Minister and would not find its way into the public domain as the subject of a Facebook post by political operatives. Now, Norman Sabgan, the Guardian, and the Answer Group still owns Guardian Media as far as I know. So this was Simon de Nobrega calling Norman Sabga a political operative. Because Guardian Media was putting out a release of their own. And if Simon de Nobrega was a real communications minister and not just somebody who played one on TV, he would have checked with all the media to find out what they were saying, especially the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, who were becoming ground zero and the point of the information where this potentially fake news originated. Did the Guardian put out an article that said that we are upset that people would use Guardian headings and Guardian images to try and pass itself off as the Guardian? No. The Guardian put out an apology. The Guardian apologized to Trinidad that its own news interface was actually being used, that it was an actual story on the Guardian system, and that it was on the Guardian's website. So no political operatives other than Norman Sabga had access to this. And unless he's calling Samson Nanton, if Samson's still working at Guardian Media, I don't know who's still there. I know they fire a lot of people because they've been losing money for years. But the point here is this. In their zeal to try and unfire Fitzgerald Hines, they sent a picture of Fitzgerald Hines sitting down behind his desk that showed the nation how stupid Fitzgerald Hines really is. And they don't trust him with a computer. That is the one thing missing from that image.
You're wrong for that.
Tell me what you're saying there, David.
You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
No, but look at the pictures. They give you triangles and a stack of paper and not one computer in the room. Not like a plug.
No, doesn't have to be safe.
He has a lovely radio set behind
Yeah,
him.
yeah, transistor. Tell us the Nayabingi. But watch his desk. There is no electronic devices of any kind on his desk. Not a phone, not an iPad, not a tablet, not a computer, not a laptop. But he has all the paper in the Ministry of National Security on his desk. And this is them trying to make Fitzgerald Hines look busy and capable. All they made him look like, to me, is something from 1940. Busy with all his papers. Papers. Look at him. Busy. Where's your computer, sir? Where are your electronic devices?
No, that's a lot of work for someone that doesn't do anything, eh? What the crime rate at? 580 something?
Listen, man, all the murders on his desk. He's solving all today. But the truth of the matter is, and come back to this serious party thing, what happened today was that Fitzgerald Hines was in the process of being fired. Now, this is another new record for the most fired government minister of anybody in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Fitzgerald Hines has been fired as everything from every position he's ever held by every senior he's ever worked for.
Yes, sir.
That is the serious God's honest truth. He's been fired more than anybody else. So when we heard that he was fired today, nobody was surprised. I'm sure not even Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald knew it was coming. He knew that he was out of his depth. He knew that his job was to distract with foolishness while the murder rate was climbing. He knew that we knew that he didn't know what he was doing. But he knew that we knew that Keith Rowley was afraid of intelligent people, so he could only appoint stupid people in the first place. That's why we have Simon de Nobrega as a communication minister. And Colm Imbert as your Minister of Finance. Stuart Young as your Minister of Energy. What we have is a cabinet of stupid people. Rohan Sinanan is stupid. And every single day that goes by, he exposes how much more stupid he is. And this is not his show. But you can't talk about stupid without talking about Rohan Sinanan. Because when Rohan Sinanan went to the bamboo to tell people that the reason the bamboo flooded because somebody blocked the water course, so much irony. Because while he was walking in bamboo, I was walking in Manzanilla, up to my knees in water in destroyed roads that were caused by Rohan Sinanan blocking the water course. And if that isn't what they say, who the gods will destroy, they first send mad. If you see Keith Rowley running down the road stark naked today, don't blame the man. He surrounds himself with stupid people because he himself is stupid. He's afraid of bright and intelligent people, and he doesn't know how to handle it. That's why Fitzgerald Hines needs all that paper. They're all scripted. Simon de Nobrega was scripted today. He made an ass of himself and a fool of his whole government. Because now, these are the questions that have been left. We got more heat, no light. This is what This is what has been left in the wake of 15 minutes of PNM going off the reservation and everybody doing their own thing. Fitzgerald Hines may have been fired. He may have been in the process of being fired. He might have actually have been fired and then unfired. Simon de Nobrega wanted to dismiss that he was fired, threw the blame on political operatives for planting a story inside Guardian Media's headquarters and publishing it on Guardian Media's interface on Guardian Media's website, which Guardian Media just apologized for. So we don't know exactly what went on. Was this a leak of something that was happening? Was this the government leaking information that somebody leaked from the Guardian? This is what they call a cluster. You could put a beep there. It drives a truck. So today, the government has been exposed in full glare as to how stupid they really are. And tonight, when we are outside of Woodford Square, opposite the Red House, can't go inside Woodford Square because even though Mayor Martinez came to Woodford Square to say the Woodford Square is open till 9 o'clock every night, we've been there every night, it's closed at 6. So maybe he gave us a 6 for 9. But when we're there tonight, we are going to be talking about 4 divers that were left to die in a pipe. And the entire nation have been talking about maybe this was deliberate. We've not stopped to think maybe this was just PNM incompetence that killed people. And it could be that. Because watching them trip over themselves today like an episode of a badly scripted slapstick comedy. It looked like, was the show with the 3 brothers, the Larry Moore and Curly Joe, that used to stab each other in the eye and hit each other in the head with hammers?
Oh my God. The Three
The
Stooges.
Three
The Three Stooges, yeah. Find the Three
I love that
Stooges.
show. You know.
Find a picture of the Three Stooges. That was the cabinet today. That was your cabinet. Today, the Three Stooges tripping over each other and trying to look and sound intelligent. Simon de Nobrega, you'll never be bright, even if you stand up under a bright light. You should admit your shortcomings in life and not try to pretend. Because every time you come at one of us who are intelligent and know how to use our brain, we're going to hurt you. So stay quiet and don't open your mouth and let people know how dim you really are.
So I should put Fitzgerald Hines' face, Rowley face, and Simon.
de Nobrega.
Okay.
Larry Moore and Curly Joe. So we will move from that. Again, if you're watching us, if you just joined us, you're trying to figure out why we're broadcasting from a parlor. The studio has been taken over by Precious, David Welch, Felicia, and Indira in their gathering of stuff from all of the donors that are donating flood relief. We are collecting flood relief here. Indira could tell you, look into the camera and tell them where and what. And as soon as David brings you back, because you should keep your eye on the screen, because he keep putting you on the screen and you're not paying attention. He'll catch you off guard. Tell them. Tell them.
Okay, so we are located at 14 to 17 Victoria Square, Park Street side. Any kind of, as you could see, we have a lot of cleaning stuff because obviously we need those types of things.
Bleach and disinfectant, toilet paper. People lose the way this
any kind of toiletries. Not only that, but people also lost foods and these types of things. So if it is, we could also organize non-perishable items that we could also put in hampers for them. That would be greatly appreciated. You could call me as well on 499-8382 or 702-7445. That spells Phil. So, yeah.
So we opening the phone lines now then?
Yes, open the phone lines.
All right, so 702-7445, that's the number to call, 702-7445. Indira, you see the microphone on your desk there?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, that's what we're using. So we opening the phone lines here if you want to talk about
any of the things that have taken place in the last 72 hours. You can't keep up. And I can't blame Guardian Media for the story leaking out because they have so much things to try and keep track of, and there's only 2 people working in Guardian now. A man and a dog. The man's job is to feed the dog job is to bite the man if he touch anything. Guardian just rebroadcasting what they see on social media because BCP and Samson Anton says that's where the real news comes from now.
We also put in your number, 682-2110, if you call
Oh, you're
Philip.
so sweet because I don't have enough people calling.
That's so nice. We have someone coming in there, Indira?
No.
All right.
We
You
have
can
a
WhatsApp call that if you
million
want.
numbers that you could have used. 682-2110, call me now. But we want to talk about the flooding.
Yeah.
We want to talk about Manzanilla Road. And you see, Rohan said, and I think he's bright, but he's the next one. He, like Simon, should sit in silence and shut up. They went to get this fella to put out this thing about the history of the Manzanilla Road. I want to tell him that I know the history of the Manzanilla Road because we know that every road in the country have a history. Okay? But when the state is responsible for managing a road, when you take over that road, you could consider you have a flat space to work with, do a better job. Where were the retaining walls and the ground beams? Where was the foundation of the road? You took over the Chip Road and put a layer of pitch on top of the Chip Road and then want to tell people that the reason it didn't mash up is because it was a Chip Road. So what were we spending the money on in the Ministry of Works and Transport for all these years? Where was that money going? In ministers' pockets? To build their wives' boudoirs in Manzanilla? Over to you, Rohan. Over to you. We're going to call you all out. It's not going to end here, you know. When Harry Back and them told you that they studied The Godfather and How to Win Friends and Influence People. No, not that one. What's the other one? Sun Tzu, The Art of War. They study Sun Tzu, The Art of War. They want to come with drug money and try and dominate the narrative and felt that they alone were going to be the ones that were going to be allowed to speak. Because they have a knucklehead like Keith Rowley on their leash that they thought that they could unleash to do their bidding and that the rest of us would just stand by gobsmacked and we wouldn't know what to say. But we know what to say because we've been standing in defense of our country for quite a long time. And we have no interest in going anywhere. So when you grab your little paint salesman, Simon in Norberg, and give him a title like communication minister, the first thing you should have checked to see is if he really knew how to communicate in the first place. And Rohan Sananan is a shelf packer for Food Masters. He is very, very good at supermarkets. You should have put him in charge of that. But putting him in charge of the Ministry of Works meant that the only way we were ever going to get good roads is if half price and two for the price of one. Rohan Sananan has made a mess of everything he's touched. He's like King Minos.
Oh, God. Not Minos.
And the flooding. I mean, the flooding in Bamboo, the flooding in Grandy. Look at Manzanilla Road now. Yeah. Hey, I have some stuff to send for you, David, now that people sending me. And I'm overwhelmed in my WhatsApp, so to track it down now. But people have been sending information. We were dealing with this lady, Carol Muller, whose house eventually fell apart. Because of what went on there with the Manzanilla Road. You see, let me break it down easy for you, The Manzanilla Road and the owner of Ramsaran Dairy Products went down there with me because he grew up in Manzanilla, and a lot of people are incensed that what these people did with Pamzanilla, that Rohan Sananan wife property, is that they backfilled to the right of that road where I'm standing and filming right there was a swamp. And that swamp used to take the overflow of water every time it rained heavy. And when it rained heavier than the swamp could take, it would go under the road and into the sea. But they filled the swamp to make land for Pamzanilla. So the water created a new river on the actual roadway. Where did Rohan think the water was going to go? Where did he think? When Lachmidial created his manatee pond and closed off the other part of the river, where did he think the water was going to go? These are the knuckleheads that we have dominating the decision making in Trinidad and Tobago, and we should all hold our heads in shame because today the people of Mayaro and Manzanilla have to wade in waters up to their chests to get out to go to the grocery and go to church, temple and mosque.
Phone lines open 682-2110 or 702-744-5. Call live right now. We're live at the Participant office in Paria.
We have 45 more minutes because after this we are going straight to...
Oh, can I just say thank you to Shahida Ali and Ravi Manrakan for their amazing donations to help the flood relief. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Everything behind you, everything behind you. If it is a
I'd like to also say thank
all
you
this
to
stuff.
Edward Martinez at Trinity Lighting.
Yes, and happy birthday to him as
Happy
well.
birthday to him. So I should play his ad right next then.
I think so. That would be awesome.
All right, that's no
Give him some
problem.
love. Give him some
Cool.
love.
So we have all of those hampers behind us to distribute. We will be doing that this Saturday at our public meeting in San Fernando. So for those of you that want hampers or needy hampers, not just wanted, but needy hampers because you were flooded out, come on down to our public meeting this Saturday, Trinidad and Tobago, and get yourself a hamper there. All right, Indira, location, time, everything.
Get them this stuff.
Oh my God. That is corner of Sutton Street and Gomez Street, San Fernando. It's in a car park. We start from 5 p.m.
But those open 12.
Correct. Is it 12 or 3?
3. Those open 3? Those open 3. Start up
Again,
12.
Cole, is this mic on?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it
Turn
is.
it on.
Good day, good afternoon, Uncle Phil. Afternoon.
Good day.
This is cracking here. How
Hey.
you going? All is well?
Very, very well. As you can see,
So,
we try
yeah.
to manage all of it.
Yeah, sorry I'm tuning a little late this evening. Now came in from work.
Right.
Alright, so I hope everyone comes out on Saturday. Alright, I'll be there. I'm bringing some lunches as well. Curry goat, curry duck, and curry chicken.
To share?
Yeah, to share. That's correct.
Wow. Well, you see, we
Alright,
just had
so-
more reason to come. Thank you very much,
Alright.
my brother.
Is curry duck, is it?
Curry goat, curry chicken,
All
and
you
curry
could hear is
duck.
curry. That's it. That's all we need to know.
And you were speaking about wild meat just the other day.
I don't worry yourself. I'm Uncle Phil.
Yes, my
I'm bringing a
brother.
nice package for you, buddy. Don't worry yourself.
Yes, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, but why
John
just...
Solomon say he bringing some curry maniku for me, so we will see.
Okay.
No,
Indira,
we don't want money.
Indira, why just Philip do Indira? What about us?
I know.
Not
I
at all.
find
He
that
said-
is very,
You know
very
what?
unfair.
You know what? This
I
program
know it's
now...
small, but I like to eat too, you know.
This
Indira, this program now is
service
just you and I
is
right
for
now.
Everybody,
They go,
it's
they go,
not
they
just
go.
for me. And I want to tell you all something right now. This is very serious. If you're making anything for me with curry, I had to put bodi in it. There's a bit of
Oh
bodi
my
I
God,
eat in it.
Israel, amazing.
Curry bodi is life.
Is.
I've never tried it.
Serious? What? How could you not
You
eat
never
curry?
tried curry bodi?
Wait,
No,
you're
never.
not from like I don't want to say it on
You know what, Indira,
like,
we'll have that conversation
in that
after.
kind of area that is
After
very
we will have-
abundant. Curry is
And-
everywhere. It's the land of curry.
So 702
I'm going to send you all the
7445.
videos I have now. I wonder if I could forward all of this to you, David, so you'll get some footage of what the Miara Road really looking like, because what is... Give me an option to delete all, but it's not letting me forward all. What is people going through, boy? Some items are unavailable. All right, calm down, iPhone.
That's why you don't have that. 702-7445, 702-7445. That's the number to call, 682-2110. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more. All right, Trinidad and Tobago, stay tuned.
This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
Trinity Lighting welcomes you to our store at 123 Western Main Road, St. James. Trinity Lighting carries a wide range of bulbs such as incandescent, halogen, CFL, and LEDs for any application. We are specialized in light bulbs and parts for medical, marine, residential, and commercial use. Contact us today at 868-628-8373. Our professional team is ready to assist you with all your lighting needs.
Paria Homes, a loving, safe, caring senior care living facility where your family becomes our family. Our experienced caregivers are trained and overseen by our registered nurse who has years of experience in psychiatric nursing and working with geriatrics. We provide a safe living environment for your loved ones. Come and visit us. We are located at 4 Roads in Diego Martin, Arichel Homes. We are family. View us on Facebook, Arichel Homes. Contact us at 684-2873 or 468-3186.
This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
Go to you, David.
All right, straight back to me. Indira, I turn straight across to you now.
What are we going to do?
We're talking about the fact that, well, I'm sucking a cough drop because I was coughing. But today, I just got this and I sent it to you, David.
Yeah.
The Office of the Prime Minister, Distractor in Chief. Media release. Could I talk with this? Read, put up a media release. Read this for them.
Okay, media release Thursday, the 1st December.
You on a mic?
I don't
You on a mic?
know.
Yeah, she's on a mic.
Oh, okay. Following the cabinet meeting today and discussions with the Minister of Finance, a decision has been taken to allocate an immediate $40 million to the National Flood Relief Program. These funds are to augment existing budgetary allocations in relevant ministries, provide sustenance and comfort for those directly distressed by the recent weather emergency. I don't know what we have. Additionally, a further $100 million allocated has been made for urgent landslide and road reinstatement works nationwide. $10 million will also be made available to assist the farming community that has been adversely affected by recent flooding.
Now you see, because of my long history in media and communications, I have learned to read what's not there. This is pure distraction.
Yeah.
Further $100 million has allocation been made for urgent landslide and road reinstatement works nationwide. Why didn't we just maintain the roads in the first place?
Correct.
And I've been showing Trinidadians that the reason our roads are collapsing, because I want you to notice all of this, all of these years, North Coast, Wallafield, Chagaramas, still standing. You know why?
Queen.
Because the Americans built those roads. And those roads were built with foundations, the way we've been building roads for 1,000 years in the world. But our road builders have found out that you could charge for roads, just give them a layer of pitch on sand, and that government ministers will pay them anyway. That there are people with engineering degrees willing to sell their souls and sign off on fake roads for their share of the kickback.
Okay.
That's what's destroyed this country. Greed. And when you have corrupt government ministers taking money from the treasury, sharing with contractors for fake roads, now that it is all collapsing, don't blame the ITCZ and El Nino. This is El Tifio. That's what's going on in Trinidad. El Tifio for the government. Must come out and blame overweight trucks for damaging the roads. Overweight trucks can damage the roads with a proper road. The roads that were built in Chagaramas and Wallafield was built for heavy airplanes to land on. The impact of a plane hitting a road is 100 years of truck traffic. So they're just lying to you. I hear this. They're just lying to you. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is our country is being looted, has been looted for decades, since the Queen left. That's what they've done. They realized that it was easy to steal, that people were corruptible, that there were engineers who were willing to take a job in the Ministry of Works and sign off. And if you had a real country, those engineers would be in jail. Because that is theft. That is worse theft than the little people that you're jailing for thieving corned beef and bhaji from Hilo and sneakers from Syrian store. And that's the truth. But we've made a narrative in this country that poor is criminal and rich is right, no matter how you get the money. And that's wrong. Because we've made a mess of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a real country anymore. There is nothing that works. Nothing. Not the president, not the prime minister, not the justice system. We have people in jail in this country for decades longer than they would have been if they were convicted and sentenced of the crime that they were charged for. And they are only in jail because they're poor. Because they can't afford a bail. And they can't afford a lawyer. And when they pay the lawyer for the court appearance, and the mother had to go and work for extra shift a day to get the $3,000 to pay the lawyer for the court appearance. There's a pull up in the court to hear the other side say, "My lord, my jockey shorts band is not working well today and I'd like an adjournment." And the judge looks to the person, when is our next available date?
Yeah.
"Thank you, my lord." The other side, "Yeah, we're okay with that, my lord." And everybody say they're $3,000 and they go on for $2 million. That's how, go and sit down in the court. Is your right? Go and sit down in the court, go in the magistrate court, the high court, and listen to them. Call the whole docket for the day. And how many of them is, "My lord, my jockey shorts band is not working well today. My lord, I need an adjournment." And I have to say it so you understand the absolute ridiculousness of the situation. I'm telling you, the truth of the matter is, everything is failing. Everything. But we have people in boxes and people in cages.
Yeah.
And that's a human rights atrocity. And all of those highly paid senior counsels going home tonight to hug up their children and eat their food without caring that our justice system is built upon that. That the Attorney General, the former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, said it cost $25 to $30 million to house each prisoner. And in an interview with me, the head of the prisons and the commissioner of prisons both admitted they don't know where he got that number from because the money don't come to them. So who was getting that $25 to $30 million, Faris?
His mommy.
You're going to end up on TikTok. And then there's the justice on time prisoner transport foolishness. We spend more money transporting prisoners up and down, inconveniencing road users, than it would cost to just build the damn jail, the damn courts outside the jail. So you would literally get justice on time. Take you out yourself, take you in the court. And you'll only have to move one person, the magistrate. And we've been talking that for decades. So the only reason it's not been fixed is the reason why in a country that is a known narco-state, hear me here? We are a known, globally recognized narco-state. We are a source of contraband narcotics to the civilized world. Trinidadians are scrutinized more than anybody else from the Western world, more than Jamaicans, because we are contraband smugglers. And a country that is a known narco-state that's suffering under the weight of 40,000 illegal guns. We just found out of the 20,000 containers that came into the country in the last year, only 3,000 were scanned. Wow. The other 17,000 could have brought nuclear devices. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Because we can't unstuff containers on the port. Because the Downtown Owners and Merchants Association has told the country that unstuffing the containers on the port would slow down trade. We shut the country down for 2 years. We shut the port down for 2 years and didn't slow down trade. So we expose all of the bullshit that passes for government in this country. So I want to ask, why are we, a known narco state, allowing 17,000 containers out of the 20,000 that came to the country through the port without so much as a look in? Is that where the AR-15 is going to come from? First to pose little black children in Laventille with the little AR-15 that they rent or borrow for the day and jail them. And talk about jail them without bail. But nobody talking about going after the people who bring in the containers of guns in the first place. or the customs officers who letting it pass. So you want to blame and jail a little black hen chicken, no problem. I'm not saying picking up an AR-15 and getting involved in gang activity is a good use of your life. But I'm saying that's the smallest twig on the poison tree. The poison tree starts with the person who invests the money to source the weapons, to bring them into the country, and the person who took the bribe to look the other way and let it pass. Big men sit down in the parliament and tell you that the scanners wasn't working, so we let the containers in anyway. That is how we end up with COVID. That's how we end up with it, because we couldn't secure the borders, because we couldn't secure the nation, because even though we were fighting a virus, we let 110,000 Venezuelans in by boat. Some came by via our own Coast Guard. All of this is our reality. All of this is what Dana Sitahal and Selwyn Richardson and Gene Miles was talking about. And to save lives, you need to talk about it, and talk about it loud. Even though pussy lawyers like Michael Kwamina want to sue everybody for talking about everybody that's engaged in the high-handed criminality that passes for government in this country, take that pre-action protocol letter, but talk loud. And let us stand up for Trinidad and Tobago and expose these cockroaches. When Gary Griffith called the small criminals cockroaches, he was wrong, because those in the parliament are hardback cockroaches. Them big German cockroaches that you had up on a steel tip boots to mash. If we're taking the analogy today, where criminality is concerned. Because the reality of our situation is, until we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, stand up, they're not going to stop. There's one or two reasons why the Prime Minister has not spoken to the nation since the floods. One, because they decimated non-PNM communities and he's only the Prime Minister of the PNM. Or two, he is scared to death. Keith Rowley doesn't know what is the next play to play. And the man enjoying himself most of all is Colm Imbert. Because all the bullshit he's doing, nobody's getting to see. Because he has Rhoda Barrett running interference from embarking at everybody that stops to look. So our country is being destroyed by its government. What do we do with that? Other than us, all the people stand up together. 1.4 million. People say if you go out in the road, 1.4 million, they'll declare a state of emergency. That's not what states of emergency are for. A state of emergency is not to protect the government from the ire of the people. When the people are saying, you are fired, I hired you, you are making a mess of my country, my roads have been destroyed, my drainage has been destroyed to the point where everything is flooding, and you're just playing a blame game, and you know everything that was wrong after the fact, while people suffering, spending $5 billion a year to steal $4 billion for medical supplies and equipment to big companies that live in big houses, and the poor people sitting down on hard bench and plastic chair in emergency rooms begging for attention. Was it $5 billion going on? We're spending $5 billion on public schooling in this country, more per child than the 1% pays for their children to go to St. Andrews and Fairways. And we have the worst standard of education in the world. Ironically, about 30 years ago, we had the highest standard of education in the Western Hemisphere until Eric Williams PNMized it. Understand? They just lowered the standard of education to facilitate people becoming lawyers. That's what we need. More lawyers that don't read and can't understand. This is our reality, Trinidad. And they're fooling you with race nonsense. Black people and Indian people have no problem with each other until the politicians get involved. So why don't you just ignore the politicians? I don't realize that it's not black people or Indian people making each other suffer, but politicians and their handlers in the contract mafia. Trinidad is broken by deliberate design, and it is being looted. Those who wanted to get their drugs and guns into the country got their drugs and guns into the country because the state told the country that unfortunately, oops, we couldn't scan all. So why didn't you unstuff them? Why didn't you open them and go in with a torchlight? Why? That's our truth. That's our reality. Tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm standing up again outside the Red House for 4 people who were left in a pipe to die because Colin Piper and the rest of the management of Paria either didn't know what to do or didn't care how to do it. So we sent the Coast Guard to point guns at the children of the people of the men trapped in the pipe, and promised to shoot them if they try to save them. That is the insanity of Trinidad and Tobago. Now we have lawyers dressing up in their fancy petticoats, standing up in a commission of inquiry, trying to make sense of it. But the truth of the matter is simple to see, that we are a country broken by those holding high office. And we have to fix that. And the only way to fix that is to fire them. The best way to fire them is get everybody on the same side. And the only way to get everybody on the same side is to down tools and stand together. And we could do it. They do it all over the world. We will never advocate for violence. We will never advocate for pelting stone and picking up guns. Because we know the power of people doing nothing at all. And if tomorrow every single person in this country decided, you know what, I am fed up of this foolishness and all the bullshit laws that uphold it, I am fed up of all of it, so I'm going to stop. Randolph Barrett said that when his daughter was murdered. When the media asked him, Andrea's daddy, about what he does for a living, he says nothing. I'm doing nothing so I don't have to pay any taxes to uphold this criminality. That's where we are. And all of you who think that you could hold your own corner and make sure you get your own cup of soup while the rest of us do the struggle, you're just going to make it take longer, and we might fail, because we need all of us. As long as they have workers willing to cross the strike line, the strike won't be effective. We need to stand together and stop it all. And as I mentioned, SOUP, David, early in January, the Progressive Empowerment Party. So you're hearing our announcement in case other political parties decide, or their activists, because they have some political parties that have activists that can't join their parties for different reasons, so they're activizing outside on their behalf. But we will be opening.
I find I feel a little bit personal, but go ahead.
You done?
I'm done.
You can't get like 3 screens on the screen at the same time.
Of course.
Show me that.
All right.
But we'll be opening our soup kitchen early January 2023 for all the poor, the homeless, those who can't eat. Every single day, we will make as much soup as we could, and if we run out of soup today, we will make more soup tomorrow until we can feed everybody who needs the Progressive Empowerment Party. The reason I'm announcing that is this. If you are in a position to assist us with that, we have to pay for the cups and we have to pay for the material that makes the soup, because after the first couple of days, it gets expensive if we're doing it out of our own pockets alone. We need your help. Those of you who are in business and can supply, we'll be making vegetable soup, corn soup, things like that. And if you'd like to help us. Also, restaurants who would like to donate food at the end of the day that we could share, we would be willing to work with you on that. I spoke today with Colin and Andrea Burkett of Colors Restaurant, and they were happy. And Dexter Board and his date, I don't know who she was today, but when I told them about it, when I met them in the mall, and they were both very excited to be a part of it. Dexter's brother, Richard, is the person whose name I called for helping Anthony Saloom with the...
Don't forget his Sunday thing.
With the... Yes, Anthony Saloom, who's having... Anthony Saloom with the Project Engage.
Project Engage, yeah.
Who's repurposing and reusing unwanted items into useful furniture. His show is Sunday and Monday.
The Art Society.
At the Art Society in Federation Park from what time?
3 to 6.
3 to 6. Plenty good stuff. Go down there and take advantage of the opportunity to support those who needs your help. Anthony has put formerly homeless people to work, and this was always the mission. He's doing really good work. Yeah. And you should go down there and help him buy out everything, because that money will go back to helping more people, and you would have contributed positively to society, and you'd have something to show for it, for a change. Yeah. We are, tonight is our 4th night of our 9 nights for the divers opposite the Red House. We are standing for justice for our divers, and we are insisting on compensation for the families. We are doing this to raise awareness and to remind Trinidadians and Tobagonians that we have all the power and we have all the say, and those who sit in that parliament do so because we let them, we vote for them, and we allow them. Our taxes uphold them, and we could fix all of that, and we could fix all of it. David, will you be at the Red House tonight?
No, but that's only because we have lots of shows inside here tonight.
Oh yes, you have
Cut line.
Yeah, cut live, and we have lots of businesses coming in, you know.
so you're busy.
Very nice. I hope they will be.
But I
helping
will
us
come
donate.
down and then come back up here.
So, well, I guess maybe you could take a feed and pop it in a picture-in-picture.
I can do that.
That would be nice. Show them your technical ability.
This wasn't enough.
You and your team. This is nice. David have a bunch of fellas working with him today who don't want to be on camera for different child support reasons. So don't call their
I
names.
just want to always go on with you sometimes. Like, what?
Right. Yeah.
Aye,
So,
aye, aye.
we are also again wanting to remind everybody about our outreach. This Saturday, December 3rd, we will be at the PEP meeting in San Fernando,
Yeah,
corner Sutton and Gomez Streets.
correct.
And the team, David, Felicia, Indira, Precious, would be distributing hampers as part of that outreach at the event.
Correct.
So if you're one of our South people who are in need, you could feel free to come down at 5 p.m. and they'll process you and organize you a hamper to help you as best as we could. Yeah, Trinidad is hurting right now. Trinidad, our country, is hurting right now, and all of you who are good, decent, patriotic, civic-minded people, you should come out on Saturday. Saturday at 5 p.m. This one is for the Southland, because people tell us when we north, hey, when you come down south, we come in, and we go down south. When you come back up north, it's like we playing a game of hide and seek, but we will catch you. We will be in your community at some point. We have Satish Ramsaran and David Lachman, the National Project Coordinator. Lachman Ramrup is putting together the calendar of events for 2023. Last night I had to admit that there are so many people in on the team now that
You're lost.
I swear to
Who
you,
doing this? Who doing that?
there are so much things going on. I know Precious and her crew from the women's arm.
Hey, and they sort out all the food, all the food sorted.
No, but what about the
Yay.
barbecue and the women's arm from Aruba doing?
That she's still questioning. She's still wondering if to bring it to the event, but
They may or may not. I
they may or
guess.
may not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they've handled the women's arm. They do such a massive job, and
Yeah.
Precious doesn't stop when David is out there doing hampers. Precious is there with him when they're out there highlighting things that's going on in the country. I mean, she's keep up with your brother.
Yeah, but you know, she's the one that I say, let's go and do this.
Wow.
Not me.
Oh, I'm so happy that you admitted that. I'm sure she'll be happy
Precious
to hear
got
that.
champagne.
She'll be like, yes,
Well,
let's have to pressure this.
She's my
I'm sorry.
absolute.
I'm glad you're my cutoff there, Indira.
Don't lie! Shit.
Yeah.
You can use the other mic.
No, that's fine.
All right.
So, right now, this is the begging section for me. If you would like to get
So take us off the screen. Okay, good.
no, you can stay right there, because if you would like to get involved in the soup kitchen, give them some numbers for the soup kitchen. I guess it's been using yeah.
Didn't you cut me?
No, you good, you good.
Oh, okay. So for the soup kitchen, if you all want to call to
Yeah,
start
Indira,
to-
really, use the next mic. So 702-7445.
I was not going to say I'm hearing her, but then I realized I'm sitting there. So use this mic. Talk into the
Yeah,
mic.
talking to that mic. I'm going to take this off.
Going home.
They are on. You're on camera. They're seeing you. Yeah, well. Give them the numbers if you want to donate to the soup kitchen. If you'd like to become a regular donor, what we want is institutional donors for the soup kitchen, people who could help us offset the costs of operating it so that we could help as many people as possible every single day. We would need volunteers, but we'll use PEP volunteers. But anybody want to volunteer, you could as well. You could call as well. So this is just a precursor announcement. You know, when we do it something, we do it big, and we will be spreading this message. So we will be having a public opening of the soup kitchen early January. But give them the numbers to call for all the donations for if you want to help with the hampers for the flood relief.
Yeah, so that number
Use the mic, use the mic.
So that number again is 499-8382 or 702-PHIL, which is 7445, as well as you could still send information.
682-2110.
Yeah, y'all know.
Because that doesn't go away. What's David's number? Give them David's number too.
David, what is your number?
719-2888.
Wait!
Yeah. 719-288. Yeah. And also, if you want to assist us financially, because as you know, the Progressive Empowerment Party does not engage people who are political investors and speculators giving us money today so that when we get into office tomorrow they could call on us for demands. So we turn to you, the average person, to help. And if you would like to be a donor, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, reach out to Felicia Holder, 769-4590, or Sahai De Silva. I have to pull up Sahai's number because that's one of the numbers. I think it's 374-4787. But could be wrong. So
I have a 702-7445.
So high number is 374-8747 correctly. Whose number is that? Yours?
I have a 702-7445 for Felicia.
Right, people are going to write on the thread. Hey, call them numbers again. So Sahai's number is 374-8747. If you want to make a donation, call Sahai or call Felicia at 769-4590. Volunteers for the party, people who want to get involved in your community. Satish Ramsaran is the party organizer, and he has a call out for people to volunteer in their communities because we are announcing more shadow MPs this Saturday in...
Really?
Look at you now, boy. You're quick on the draw, you know. This Saturday in San Fernando, it's at Sutton and Gomez Streets. We will be announcing a couple more shadow MPs. We're not going to stop until we have all 41 MPs announced, and we think that exercise will be completed by Easter Sunday. So Lakshman Ramrup and Satish Ramsaran are coordinating events to facilitate the opening of offices throughout the country. And the shadow MPs will require teams and people to work with them. If you would like to work within your community, as my father used to say, bloom where you're planted. If you would like to help build the constituency outreach, because coming on board and helping us, we get into office, there are about 30,000 jobs, and we will look to the people who helped us to continue to help us.
Don't say that now, they go automatically cut with truth.
No, I'm telling you, but the people who help those people are the people you want to continue helping.
Yeah.
Those people that are loyal, patriotic sons of the soil that want to serve Trinidad and Tobago. You don't jump on board a party like Progressive Empowerment Party hoping to feather your own nest. You know, we're not in the feathering nest business. Yeah? David.
So volunteer. The event again is this Saturday, not next week, this Saturday at 5 p.m. San Fernando. Again, call 702-7445 if you want information on how you can get there. We'll be putting out a online location so people can just click it and follow it as well. All right. So it's at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street in San Fernando. Doors open at 3 p.m. Event starts at 5 p.m. So come on out, Trinidad and Tobago, in your numbers. We have free food. We're doing free food that day.
Yeah, hearing all kind of food, curry goat, curry duck, curry chicken. A man talking about wild meat. I hope wild meat in season so I don't get buff. Satish number is 796-8172. If you want to volunteer for the party, if you want to get involved politically, if you just need somebody to talk to, call Satish. 796-8172.
So that, ironically, that is true.
But you know why I say that? David will be in a meeting and Satish will get a phone call and he'll take the call and he'll step away and he'll talk for a couple of minutes and he'll come back. And who was that? It's a wrong number, you know. Even a wrong number takes Satish 5-10 minutes. It's weird. So yeah, if you just
you know, and I can contest to that because you know what Satish just be doing? Telling them about the BP.
So he's evangelizing.
Always doing that. He's always
Yeah. Come down from that building. You don't need to jump. Come and help put the pep in office. But yeah, if you're having problems, he's watching right now. He's a nice guy. He likes to talk. If you're having problems, you can't get a job, your man leave you, your woman leave you, your dog leave you. Call Satish.
He's probably like cussing. He's writing down everything. 1 slap, 2 slap, 3 slaps. So each every statement
just start to ring now. 796-8172. You know, like what was that person? Ask Cleo. What was that about?
Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo.
No, she used
Mr.
to,
Satish.
Yeah, she used to read this crystal ball thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Call me
That
now.
is the most true things I've ever heard about any member in the PP so
That
far.
is crazy.
Swear.
It is so
Yeah.
true.
I'm so happy this kind of nonsense talk
No,
comes out under a normal, state of mind.
Yeah, but for real. But there are people in the Progressive Empowerment Party that right now are happy that I don't have their numbers. Or I don't know it offhand because no, don't put my number there. But yeah, it's a real nice organization to be a part of. We're a very dysfunctional family, but we love each other. No, but we get the job done, David. Come
Most
on.
importantly,
We get
yeah.
the job done. We work harder than all the other political parties put together. People think that we bigger than UNC and PNM. When you come into this party, you realize how the magic that we work
For real.
with fishes and loaves. The magic that we have to work is biblical. That's the truth.
Part in the Red Sea for real.
We need awards. We need awards.
No, but
This
that
wall
is
behind
true.
the
I
ring, we
mean,
use this 4-sheet plywood 19 times. Okay, what are you saying, eh?
well, I'm saying that it's true now because just yesterday alone we put out a call for hampers and just look behind you.
Yeah.
And there's only a few that we got to put up there. So yeah.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. You're live.
Good evening, Philip. How are you doing? This is Lindsay from Canada, Vancouver, Canada.
Hi, Lindsay. You getting the call, David?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good. How you doing, Lindsay?
I find I just watching from afar about what's going on in Trinidad.
In your
Anything
country?
from in Vancouver, Canada. I mean, I have all my friends and stuff on Facebook who put up all the different feeds of what happened with the Paria Commission of Inquiry to all the floods.
It's crazy.
But it's madness. I mean, you basically have people there, excuse me, in Paria, who basically saying, well, is them family dead, so it's not my family, so I don't care, right? And nobody is asking the question as to why they weren't allowed to go into the water. Because obviously it was talk that the Coast Guard had armed guns. They were armed, and they would shoot people if they go in the water.
There was a time on either Saturday or Sunday when we had a serious conversation with divers who wanted to enter the water with extra tanks far from the Coast Guard so that they could swim to the pipe because the pipe was underwater. So they could have swum to the pipe and entered the pipe and rescued the people. And they were actually trying to mount a rescue. This is crazy that to mount a rescue, they would have had to evade our Coast Guard. Our Coast Guard was actually securing the death. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, I watched the guy, is it Michael Way or whatever his name is, and the other guy from Paria. They basically said, well, how they didn't want to mount a rescue right away because they didn't know the conditions in the pipe, and they had to have meetings to discuss what plan of action it is, right? And just recently, even last weekend, I was in New York and I went down to the 9/11 memorial site, and you're seeing all the different trinkets and things from the World Trade Center, including the fire engine, right? There's one fire engine there that I took a picture of. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, they went to the World Trade Center, one of the buildings, set up a command post, and then say, oh, they're quiet, go up and start to rescue people. They didn't sit down in an office far away and say, well, let's see what's happening there. That looking kind of dangerous. Let me wait a while and see what's going on. They actually just went in there. And that's the role of a first responder. So you have divers who are willing and ready and able to go in there. And then you say, no, we got to wait and see what's going on. Yeah.
That's a lie. Lindsay, that's a lie. That's not what happened. They did not consult with the families. They didn't consult with the public. They didn't speak to the media. The management of Paria blocked people from going in that pipe, and only they know why. Somebody's asked me if it's connected to Delcy Rodriguez and the 9 drug lords that came to meet with the Prime Minister and Stuart Young. I don't know. indicted drug lords entered this country's airspace during a lockdown and was ushered into a meeting in the Prime Minister's house. I mean, how much more insane does it get than that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, and the bodies were covered in oil. Where did oil come from?
Somebody asked me if all oil is the same oil, and if Saudi Arabia oil tests differently to Trinidad oil, and I don't know. I'm not in the oil industry, but I wish somebody could tell me, is there like a genetic footprint or some sort of test that you could run and say, yeah, this is North Sea oil as opposed to this is Australian oil? You understand what I'm saying, right? All of that we should ask for, because perhaps it was Venezuelan oil in the pipe, perhaps Trinidad, and perhaps that pipe was being used to evade sanctions. Now it's a moot point because Russia and Ukraine caused America to have to deal with Venezuela directly, so Trinidad out in the cold again. But it's insane that we had that as a reality, and that those men are not in jail, and that the families have not yet been compensated in less time than is taking us to have a commission of inquiry. Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma bomber who blew up the CIA building, was caught, prosecuted, sentenced to death, and executed.
Well, that's the whole thing. And another thing as well, too, is I do not know, I mean, I hear about the OSHA Act and all these different things, but is there like a workers' compensation kind of act in Trinidad that if you have an injury or a death at work when you're on duty, that you receive compensation? And in the case of a death, you get a one-time payment or payments for a year. Like you might have a lump sum that's divided into like a year's worth of payments. Is there anything like that? Because, I mean, we have that kind of laws here in Canada.
But you live in a first world country, but you're from Trinidad, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, but you live in a first world country now, and I want to tell you the reason why Trinidad doesn't work is because we don't have proper law. Everything that runs our country is a law that is connected to the Constitution, and that is the blueprint of how the country operates, like the operating manual of the country. We don't have that. Like security guards that do the same job, put their lives in danger just as much as police officers, they have no compensation law for them. So you could die as a security guard on the job and your wife could get a tin of biscuits. Terence D. Alsing told the nurses, the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister announced that the nurses were going to get special ex gratia payments for putting their lives in danger for the whole pandemic. And up to now, not one nurse has been paid.
And they give Dr. Richards and all of them medal and thing, right?
All of that is it. It's just stunts. We live in a country where we gave a man the country's highest award because he successfully evaded repaying a loan back to the ADB. $25 million to build a mall. We are a broken little criminal country. We play like we are a real country. The reason the PNM and the PNM media blocks me the way they block me is I speak the truth too freely, you know. Trinidad lives a lie.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Our roads are a lie. Brother, the reason the rain falls and we wash it out to the sea so that we can spend billions of dollars a year desalinating the same seawater is we're living a lie. And Trinidadians facilitate the lie because look at Loop today. Loop jump out itself to debunk the Fitzgerald Hines firing. But whole week, people dying, things falling, place collapsing, flooding, and Loop talking about the mating call of the African gecko. But today, Loop was back in the news business because it served the PNM that helps them through Digicel. I am so fed up of the high-level white-collar wrongdoing that is the trademark of Trinidad and Tobago. Everything you're talking about. OSHA, the actual OSHA people didn't show up at Paria till 9 days after. It's like when I was outside that party in Simeon Road, and the people from EMA tell me, boss, we can come and test it for you, but the only testing machine we have right now in Sangre Grande. That's Trinidad. Yeah. These people fail it by deliberate design so they could thief it. It's called shock doctrine. That's what the PNM does. They're surrounded by the Financial Intelligence Unit never explains to the people where the money that the PNM and the UNC hands out at election time, those hundreds of millions of dollars that are pressed into the hands.
Where come from? Yeah.
But where's that money coming from? And if you are named, the Financial Intelligence Unit and you don't have that much intelligence that you could deduce that, then what's the point of you?
Exactly. I mean, Another thing I'm watching as well too is all the flooding. And I remember back in 1985, I got caught in the flood where the flood blocked off the not Solomon Hochoi, the Joanne Butler Highway. I was going to school in Chaguanas and I was living in Valsine, right? And we could not go home that night because the floods, and I've since wondered, and that's 1985, why does the country have dams that are empty or dry, right? And you can't get water in your pipes and all this flood water. I was wondering about that. I was wondering, well, couldn't they route all this water into dams and whatever and use to power electric turbines? I mean, since 85, I was wondering that.
They can't thief money doing that. They could thief money paying kickbacks. Every time the bill is due to one of these desalination plants, all of a sudden they have to shut it down for service until the money gets paid. Trinidad is one big gangster's paradise, brother.
Well, build the dams and build all the things and have the kickbacks and things there, but at least now you have a system in place.
No, you're not understanding. No, you're not understanding. Let me explain it to you clearer.
Yeah.
Trinidad has more water tanks and water pumps per capita than any country in the world.
Exactly.
For a country that has a rainforest climate. Now you put those two thoughts together and you understand Trinidad and Tobago. Because the reason we do not grow food, we were a net food exporter until the 70s. The reason we don't grow food to feed the nation is because the food importers bribe politicians to not grow food. Clarence Rambarat was the Minister of Agriculture who was a board member of Caroni Limited. He knew where all the ducks were, how to dot the I's and cross the T's. The reason that he did not grow any food is because he was not allowed to. And the only reason he's not allowed to is because the prime ministers, plural, Kamala Keith, Manning Pandey, all of them, took money from the food importers to keep the country importing food. Now, when you know that, and you could still vote to cut your children's throat, Trinidad really look for what it get?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, everybody talking about UNC this and UNC that and put back UNC, but
I'm not hearing anybody saying that. There's a vast gaping silence about the UNC. As bad as the PNM is, people still don't want to settle for the UNC. The only option people have right now is the Progressive Empowerment Party. And if people stop with the racist loyalty and stand behind an organization willing to call out the truth on everything. You know, people tell me the first time they speak to me, boy, you're the bravest man I ever talked to. Nobody has ever talked like you. Nobody in the history of this country has ever put out the amount of truth and information that you have. And I just wonder if you're not afraid because you live in a country that kills people so easily. So if people see that...
That's why I worry about as well too.
If people see that the Progressive Empowerment Party is a party that's willing to stand up that bravely, why aren't they throwing themselves out of their houses to rescue their country and their own futures? I don't understand that. But we are going to continue to fight until somebody show me why.
Well, you have a system there where, okay, the PNM diehards will vote for PNM regardless, and the UNC diehards will do the same thing too. But there is a vast majority of people who just don't vote. And I have friends in Trinidad and say, well, you know, they two of them is the same thing, so it don't make no difference. And then there are some that says, well, I will pray and hope it get better. And then there are some who say, well, you know, I'll just kind of hope for the best and see what happens because, you know, maybe this time they might change and they might do something. And I tell them, I said, you know, when you drive on the roads and you have bad roads, that's politics. When your car get water from your tap, or at least get drinkable, clean water from your tap, that's politics. When you rainfall and your house flood out, all of that is politics. So even though you may not get political and go and put on a banner and go and jump up in front of your house, everything in your life is politics.
Even if you say you're not into politics, politics still into you. It's like saying you're not going to eat the lion and hope the lion won't eat you. The truth of the matter is, Lindsay, and this is not meant to fall in your garden, but we have 3.5 million Trinbagonians living outside. We have 3.5 million Trinidadians who trace their roots directly to Trinidad outside of Trinidad and Tobago. The reason we're still stuck at 1.4 and are not yet 5 million people is because most of our people leave instead of us standing up together and fighting. And I know that if we get into office, I want to bring back those 3.5 million people and put them to work so that we can fix back this country in quick time, because you and every other one of know what a first world nation feels like.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. That is the whole thing. But Anyway, I don't want to take up much of your
No,
time.
no, no. It's
anymore.
always nice to have you as a call. In fact, one of these days we have to set up to actually bring you on board as a guest. And I want to talk to more
Yeah.
of our overseas supporters who could come on the show and explain to people the power of your of the money in your pocket when you go to the grocery, when you go to the mall, or when you have a problem and you pick up the phone and you call a supervisor, the kind of response that you get compared to the insanity that is living in Trinidad and Tobago. Because we need to let them know that it exists, it is real, it could be done, and we are the people to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about the power of the money that I spend. I mean, I will go to the grocery and buy 4 bags, them hamper bags that always give away. I will buy 4 of those hamper bags worth of groceries and spend just over $100 for that.
Now, those 4 bags in China will be about $2,000.
Wow.
So true.
And I don't buy
So true.
no name brands. I buy the brands. I like the brands that I buy.
No, you're buying brands because you know that you're buying quality. If people don't understand the reason for buying brands is those people spend a lot of money to defend their brands. So if the product that you buy is not the highest quality, you know for certain you will get a refund or a replacement.
Of course, I take it back to the grocery and say, this thing is tasting good, this thing is not, it kind of spoiled, and they say, okay, no problem, and they process a refund. It's no sort of going through the company and right on a website and take it back to the grocery, and that's another thing that Trinidad doesn't have. I mean, you buy something somewhere in Trinidad and it's defective, you take it back and they will not give you a refund, they might give you an in-store credit or something like that. And
If you're lucky, you could get insulted normally. And I remember a toy store in this country when my son was small. I bought a remote control vehicle for him that didn't work. And when I went back there, the big fat clown that operated the store told me, well, why don't you just go and talk to whoever you had to talk to? Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. All of our institutions, they have no equal rights, they have no security, they have no protection, they have nothing. We have nothing. When you talk OSHA, you talk EMA, you talk any of these organizations that use Financial Intelligence Unit, Integrity Commission, all of these things sound like real things, but they only sound like real things that you could quote in the news. They don't do nothing really.
I say, it's you could leave the PNM supporters and the UNC supporters alone. If you all tap into that majority of people who don't vote and who just praying and waiting for something, them is the people that you all need to focus on. You can't.
We're focusing on Trinidadians. You can't separate them, all Trinidadians. Even if you were a traditional PNM or UNC supporter, you're suffering same way. You're suffering same way. Now that you have an option, now that you're hearing the truth, now that you're realizing, wait now, they have 2 school systems in the country, the school system for the big shot children and then the other school system to create French fries box packers, because that's what they just found out. They didn't know. And the reason we have such a massive following is that people come to learn what they didn't know before. That they live in a country where the media is owned and operated by people who sell their souls to the government, and the government use the media to sell their propaganda, and the people buy into that. Trinidad is trapped, and Trinidadians leave and go away and see the real world. That's what I don't understand, and come back here and not feel to move differently. I think Trinidadians just think, I was in America and the bus come on time every day, but I think them was just trying to fool me.
Well, when I was educated here, so I went to school here, so I lived here in Vancouver for about 8 years. And when I went back to Trinidad, I actually had a very hard time readapting to Trinidad life, because now I was a critical thinker. So I'm questioning certain things and asking why. I mean, here it is, I am paying for cable, and I can't watch my football games on a Sunday because they say them thing blocked because of broadcast rights and stuff. I'm saying, but no, cable is not broadcast, because I can't go and put on an antenna and receive the cable signals. So that is not broadcasting. And I actually started to write the companies away, like CBS and all them stuff. And I say, look, this is what's going on here. And then they realized what I was doing. So to silence me, they actually unlocked the signal so I could watch the games on Sunday. Right?
So teach Trinidadians that is their power. Teach Trinidadians that that's their power. That's what I need you for. That's what I need people like you for, to explain to Trinidadians that right here, right now, by using your power, you could fix it. My brother's children were born in Trinidad, but they grew up in Canada. And they're in their early 30s now. And my brother's son, he comes back regularly, and we go for roti and we lime and we talk. But he said he will never live in Trinidad. And the reason he will never live in Trinidad is because you get accustomed to first world nations and all that it comes with. If you don't have to think about the hospital. If you end up in a hospital, you expect certain treatment in the hospital. When you're suffering from a life-threatening illness, you don't want to have to decide which hospital to go to. Get me to the nearest hospital, but that will never be our situation as long as the PNM and UNC facilitate those who import medical supplies and devices and prescription drugs and overprice it and sell it to the state and never deliver it and split the difference with government ministers. We have a criminally corrupt society. If the Chamber of Commerce wanted to be honest, and the last CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Gabriel Paria, told the PNM and the UNC, you'll just get into office, if I'm honest. I was hoping he'd have talked more. I was hoping he would have exposed more, because Bastio Pandey admitted politicians can't steal alone. They need businessmen, lawyers, and accountants to make it happen. It's a criminal conspiracy. I call it contract mafia.
Well, yeah, speaking of Bastio Pandey, one of the indelible memories that cannot be erased from my mind was when I see Pandey come back drunk from a fete, right? Because you think about it, and of course, you know, he come back drunk from a fete and he relieved him. Not I wouldn't say relieve himself, like goes to the bathroom, but he upchucked. And I talked, I actually had spoke about it on a thread, and he was like all up in arms, like, where you get the information from, you have proof and all this kind of thing. And I said, look, it's what I witnessed, because your car and the security details actually parked in my driveway, in my yard. So I was able to see that. And that's something, and I remember even my mother saying,
We've never had governments that you could be proud of, that you could point at your children and say, emulate that person. But Lindsay, I'm sorry to cut the call, because I have to go and get ready now to go to the Red House to do the fortnight of our...
Oh yeah, right, yeah. You have, it's almost 7 o'clock in Toronto, so you got to go and light candles. So I'll watch it there as well too.
Thank you, my brother.
Again, thank you for everything. You know, after this call, no, I don't go make I do contribute monthly.
I know you do.
You know, after every time I talk.
I know you contribute all the time, and I want you to reach out to Felicia directly, because I've been meaning to talk to you about this. But if you could start to help mobilize the rest of people who could continue to help us, because our overseas Trinidadians are the people that, you know, really helped us move from when we started as nothing to the size of the party that we are now. Thanks very much for all that you do, brother. All
right, not a problem. You take care, Phil, and keep the fight going, and I'll see you online. Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's one of our followers. It's 6:40.
Yeah.
And you can pull the three of us back on the screen and wrap it up.
Yes, I can.
Wrap it up, G. Yeah. And another thing, I can't remember who was asking today, should I start wearing suit and tie? And somebody was saying that that time will come, but people accustomed to you being the approachable Trinidadian that you are, you know. So if it's, you know, I mean, some people like people to put on airs, you know, they went to the convent.
Is that why you went and get a little haircut?
No,
and
this
a
is because,
shave?
not at all. All you know, and he don't want me to call his name, my barber, because today I nearly put him on blast. He said, no, brother. Security will have to come in the mall to control the crowd. When you tell people something good, people just go. And I want to give, and saying that, I want to give somebody a free blind. I'll tell you why I want to give them a free blind. Because they've hit all the marks of what a proper business should be to me. There's a little barbecue place. Now, they don't know I'm going to do this. So when you go and you fill up their place tonight, they're going to ask you how you heard about this place. Tell them Philip Alexander sent you. And I'll tell you this. When my brother came back, when my father passed away, David, he one of the nights my brother went and bought barbecue for the whole family, and I thought the barbecue tastes really good. I said, where you get this barbecue? And he told me, I said, you know, I see there all the time. I just drive to Debe in South. Because I think them fellows sell barbecue on the side of the road in Debe, sell real good barbecue. And I like a good barbecue. I just drive all the way to Debe in South to get barbecue. But this barbecue in Diego Martin.
So that's right then?
Swear to you. 632 SHIP, S-H-I-P. I don't know that's why that's their number.
632 SHIP?
632 S-H-I-P. That's what it spells. But anyway.
You sure it's not the other one?
But anyway, right there on the corner of Crystal Stream, where you go, like if you're going to Daybreak Cafe or Don's Roti, when you're coming off halfway up Crystal Stream, you see they have a little barbecue place. I think it's called Island Barbecue. Island Barbecue. The quality of the barbecue was fantastic. So let me tell you, I was going there a couple of days, and they have this special.
Cameraman agree.
Serious.
We'll go
They
there
have
right
a
after.
$40
Right?
special day where you're going there, you get barbecue and rice and salad and thing for $40. Real good.
2009? Well, we could go right after and get some barbecue.
Yeah, you could call them and tell them
That's
you
on
come in.
the bill on Philip.
Call them and tell them you come in. But hear me, I want to tell you this, David. So,
You hear that one? And there you hear it.
David Welch is the worst.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I want to say this. The barbecue tastes so good that I went there all the time for a couple weeks. I was going there regular and getting barbecue. And then one day, I got barbecue. And when I go to buy food, I was buy for everybody I buy food for. And one day,
So let me call them and order now.
So
stand by.
So we
I had
should
to
start from now.
I had to tell the story.
Go ahead.
I went one day and the food that I got wasn't up to the standard. And I called them and I told them that I was not impressed with the quality of the food today. I think the salad was bad and you should go in the kitchen and tell them that be careful because they're going to damage your customer base, because people like me who will come there every day, every other day to buy barbecue, I'll just stop. But I called them because I had a number. And they told me, Mr. Alexander, just throw away the food wherever you are and come back whenever you're ready and we will replace it for you. And they couldn't wait to just replace the food for me. And I was so impressed with that. You know, it's a simple little kind of mom and pop kind of operation. So you're not expecting them to want it. And they are the ones that did this. And to me, that was the last box to check, because in Trinidad, customer service is such a myth. You know, that you have a problem and, well, what you do?
Yeah.
But when a place goes above and beyond, I like to give them the props. And I like to know that next time I go back there, whenever it is, they go tell me, brother, you kill me with people. Because like my partner with Kebab Station, they still tell me, boy, every single day people come in here, they just come in here because you send it.
Really good.
But their food is
not
good
even
stuff.
a joke.
That's
That's
good
not
food.
even a lie.
That's good food.
Like, yeah.
But the best tasting barbecue within the confines of the West right now,
You see how cautious you're being there?
no, because Debe still exists. And I will go by my partners in Debe. They know and they have the Piper special, neck and foot. When things hard, 3 fries and neck and a foot, and $5, right? It's tough times. But anyway, what's the time? 6:40, 3 fries. But Island Barbecue is real good food there on Crystal Stream. So if you're anywhere in the West, go and check it out. If you don't like it, call me on 682-2110. I will take it from you. And 10 barbecue box tonight. No, seriously, you all know I know food. You all know if I tell you, my partner with the doubles box, he say, boy, they nearly buy the box. He said, they swarm me. You must have something left over. I'll go and bring bread and you'll drag it in the chana bowl. We'll wrap up today.
That's good though.
Absolutely. Bread and chana and
is
cheese.
amazing. Oh my God,
Bread and
yes.
chana and cheese. We have to wrap up. Thank you, David Welch, and your crew, who shall remain nameless and faceless.
Yeah.
Thank you, Indira, for standing in today and assisting. I don't know what you accomplished. Did you give the correct numbers today?
I believe
yes,
so.
I did.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
So when we wrap it up, you tell them for the donations and stuff, how to call, where to bring it, and you could pull me off, and I'll go from there.
Okay, so as we stated before, donations you all could drop off at 14 to 17 Victoria Square, Park Street side. My number is 499-8382, or you could call 702-7445, which spells Phil. And as you know, any and every, we don't want clothes and stuff, do we? I don't know. I don't think anybody needs that type of stuff right now, but all canned items, toiletries, cleaning stuff, we appreciate everything. Yeah?
Correct.
Okay,
If they want, they can donate clothes. We in the women's arm and youth arm will take it.
Oh, please, yes. So women's arm and youth arm are taking in donations for clothing. So please, Christmas is coming up. We would like to give everybody a little bit of something.
Yeah, but,
so you
but
can
good
as well
clothes,
do-
good clothes.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I don't think
I had to say that
holy
now.
stuff. I think people will do the right thing and bring nice stuff, yes? Please and thank you. Okay, good. I done there.
All right, no problem. So thanks so much, Philip. Thank you for being here. Indira, thanks for being here. This special live event from 4 to 6:30 is when it was supposed to wrap up, but nothing finishes on time in the PP.
You know how we just roll.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. So this event comes up very, very soon. This Saturday, 5 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago. Look out for it. The Progressive Empowerment Party is coming to San Fernando. All right, come and hear real solutions from real leaders, and they featured address by the political leader, Philip Edward Alexander. Starting at 5 p.m. event, well, doors open at 3 p.m. Come on down San Fernando, the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago. Have a good one.
This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
JC Men, Gen Couture and Studio 52, your one-stop shop that meets all your needs. From men's clothing to women's fashion, it's all here under one roof. This is shopping galore and fashion with a difference at Studio 52. Come visit us. We're located at Penco Street, Chaguanas, or call us today at 1-868-775-1747.
Tactical Enterprises Limited, located at Ramguli Trace, North Montplaisir Road, Cunupia. They wholesale and retail cellular phones and cellular accessories, smart home automation products, portable Bluetooth speakers, office chairs, and ideal gifts for the young generation. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Tactical Enterprises or call 716-2900, 469-9900 or 325-0000. Tactical Enterprises Limited, Ramguli Trace, North Montplaisir Road, Cunupia, where style meets technology.
So, how are you enjoying your dinner, Booby Looby?
Well, it's really well seasoned and partially spicy.
Well, I make it my priority to exfoliate my meat before divulging in the steamy essence of love. Yeah, you know what I mean? Rock back.
Did he just put Alcalado in here? Are we still speaking about the food?
Of course, Booby Looby. Look, let me emancipate the AC to cool things down.
Oh my, that's cool.
Yeah, that's Neil cool, baby. Now who could be possibly summoning my time at this present moment? Don't move a muscle. I'll be back.
Oh, Neva! Everything good, Gani I saw. Wow! Neva! I see that walking my hood away.
Neil cool.
Hold on, I sounds like who? Neva!
Alright, Booby Looby. Apologies. Now where were we? What are you doing inside here?
You want in wise for it, done already. What? Who are you want to say again, boy?
Kneel cool, boy, kneel cool. Come on, man.
Nelo cool.
Come on, you're killing my date, man.
Look at that, make a shot from a brother.
Just release me.
Go on.
But what trouble is this, boy? Now, where will we Scooby Louise? What do you think about having a brief entanglement?
You have any more ice?
I tell you, kneel cool, boy, kneel cool. Just come out of the place for my You're just inappropriate, man. Oh, shucks. I'm cramping my style, man. Rock back.
If you're looking for the coolest of the cool, just call Neil Cool. Guaranteed to have the best prices and after service care. And if you're looking to save big on your electric bill, ask about the AKL units, 7 years on compressor and 2 years on parts. So call them today, message on Facebook or Instagram and get cool. Stay cool with Neil Cool.
This is Philip Edward Alexander inviting you to come out in your numbers and join us this Saturday at the corner of Gomez and Sutton Street, San Fernando from 5 p.m. as we stand together as one people under one flag to rescue our country.
We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.